we're set up here at our site at Little Girls Point, and it was a little bit of a challenge to get in. I'll show you some of the stuff here in just a second, but look at this site. Here we are, and this is Lake Superior. We're right here on the shore.
We spent 6 weeks exploring Michigan's stunning Upper Peninsula in the early autumn. If you've missed the other episodes, you can see them here. After exploring the Keweenaw Peninsula for nearly a week, we left Fort Wilkins State Park and headed southwest to our next campground. Our destination was Little Girls Point, a rustic county park located on the shores of Lake Superior. Little Girls Point has no water available and no dump station, so be sure to arrive with your fresh water tank full, your wastewater tanks empty, and plan accordingly.
You can see we're nestled right in this little woods right here, really nice. And they have, for some of these sites, this little access two-track sort of kind of right here. I actually pulled down the road and there's the public access right down there. So I looped and turned around and came back this way and then up into this two-track right here, pulled right into this two-track, up forward, and then we backed into our site. We're on site 20 right here, but is this like one of the prettiest sites you've ever seen? This is gorgeous. Let's see how Michelle's doing, setting up everything on the inside, and we'll see what's going on in here. I think she's actually vacuuming and cleaning up. We like to keep everything really nice and clean, and it's working out good. Look at that. So you getting everything all cleaned up, are you?
Yeah.
Look at that. Making it all home. And we talked to our neighbor to the front of us, and he said they were here last night and they didn't have to do anything, no heat or anything at all. That's why we made the decision not to do the 30 amp. Let me show you what we had to do in order to get this hooked up for electric. Here's our electric, and of course we're a 50 amp. And so it comes along and all. And then I dropped us down to 30 amp right here. And I have our cord. I have it kind of snaked around like that. Then we're down to a 20 amp cord because our electrical box is right here at the back of this Oliver. So, I mean, let's turn and look and see. It's a bit of a ways from the site. These folks here in this motorhome, that was great to watch them. We're discussing how we're going to come in, and I assume they've been here before because they just pulled right in, whoop, and they're done. Once and done, that's it. Didn't check the site, they just pulled in and parked. Of course, we're facing north, so the sunset is going to be a little more behind us. But if we went down on the beach, right down in here, I'm sure we could actually catch the sunset from there. But I'm very content where we are, and I think we're going to get ourselves together and make up a little meat and cheese tray and maybe have a glass of wine. We have no wood, so I'm not going to be building a fire. I guess we could bring out our propane fire pit, but I'm not sure I want to use that much propane while we're here.
These days are running slow. Sunsets and shores far from home. Headlights are shining on the sea. No place on earth I'd rather be.
One of the things that Jim and I really enjoy doing sometimes in the evenings is making up a charcuterie tray, meat, cheese. We eat our bigger meal earlier in the day, usually between 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It just has been what works with travel. We eat a big breakfast. Jim usually makes omelets and or some kind of eggs, and then we're hungry again by 3 or 4. So we eat a fairly big meal, high protein. We had quite a few adventures today, and so we are going to be hungry. So I'm going to make us up a meat and cheese tray so that we can enjoy that this evening.
And I could try to just follow the swell, but I'll never find this anywhere else. Try to just follow the sweat, but I'll never find this anywhere else.
We are at Stormy Kromer Factory, which is a Michigan-made company. And as you can see, we are wearing their product. We've had these hats for quite a while now. We really love them. And of course, like promoting not only American-made, but Michigan-made products. And so we get to be here today and see the warehouse and see the tour of how they're made, I think.
Yes, it's the actual factory where the Stormy Kromer hats are made, and they are a unique Michigan product. And in fact, you can see the world's largest Stormy Kromer hat right here behind us. And they're kind of iconic. They have these pull-down ear flaps, and I'm sure that during the tour, we're going to hear all about the history of Stormy Kromer, who the real Stormy Kromer was, and what makes these hats so iconic.
I'm Bob. I'm one of the family members that owns the company that bought Stormy Kromer in 2001. This is kind of the wallboard of Stormy Kromer and his family. This is his wife, Ida. We figure about 1915. This is actually their engagement picture in the late 1800s. George and Ida didn't have children, so the only descendants they have are nieces and nephews and grandnephews. This is actually their nephew in 1932. His granddaughter's my age, and she just passed away, but her grandchildren come to all of our Stormy Kromer events, and they thank us for keeping Uncle Stormy's legend alive and all that fun stuff. We asked him how he wanted to be remembered. It's definitely as a baseball player. That was his passion and love, and I don't know if you saw in the corridor there's a baseball bat that was given to him from minor league baseball. We do know some quirky things about him. The two that'll make you smile are that he played and then he owned a team. He owned a minor league baseball team. And that team that he owned is in the record books for the largest loss in minor league baseball history. The team he owned lost 146 a game, 146 to nothing.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things he truly believed in is before every game, his outfielders were asked to stare into the sun for 30 minutes or so just to get their eyes acclimated to the sun. And meanwhile, his outfielders were all blind, whatever it is. Ironwood, Michigan is probably the only town in the world where this could have done what it did. My family lived in Miami, and we took the same creativity and all that stuff. We couldn't be doing this. But there were two things that I grew up around, and one was all of our old houses here were bought by Minneapolis people for skiing. These are all ski houses. As Ironwood was 16,000 when I was a kid, and then mine shut down and it went down to 8 like in 4 years. One of those Minneapolis people that I knew had a dark green hat, Stormy Kromer hat made in 1949, and he just bragged about it all the time. Nobody's got one of these. It's the only one.
Matches my hat.
One of the things that I really like to find when we travel around are some little kind of tacky local things. And probably because when I was a kid and we traveled with my parents, my dad hated stuff like this. He absolutely hated tourist trap things. And so we never did anything like this. So I guess maybe that's why I seek this out. But here in Ironwood, we have the tallest Indian, and this is Hiawatha right here. This is the Hiawatha statue right behind, and he's kind of neat. They repaint him from time to time. And what do you think, Michelle? You think you know him? You think you have to walk a mile in his shoes, his moccasins, to get to know him?
He's holding a peace pipe, so I think that's a good sign. I don't know of what.
Peace.
Of peace.
It's a good sign of peace.
Let's give peace a chance.
There you go. I thought that was peas. I thought it was about eating your vegetables.
I don't want to give peas a
Chance.
I don't like peas. But I'll do peace.
You do peace, but not peas. Well, anyway, here
We digress.
we digress. Here in Ironwood is this wonderful statue of Hiawatha. Just one more thing to see when you're here.
I've come to find out here on the road so many men with talent, only few have the soul. As I'm looking at my face in the water, I'm wondering if I am alone. Maybe I'm no different than the ones who are running all of this. Well, I'm just searching for a peace of mind, and I'm just a traveler passing through for time.
To stay at Little Girl's Point, you need to make reservations online, and you really need to do it before you get here because there is no internet service at all here. There's no Wi-Fi, and cell signals are abysmally bad. Our high boost booster that we have is helping us out quite a bit. It allows us early in the morning to do a little bit of work on the internet, but by the time afternoon hits, things aren't working really good. In fact, if you're going to be here waiting for a cell signal, you're going to probably be about like this guy right here. Look how long he's been waiting to get a cell service signal. Looking at the sites along this run right here, I think sites 18, 19, and 21 would be my personal favorite to get the best view of Lake Superior out your front door. But the site we're on, site 20, is the largest of all those sites, ironically. So we end up with a large area kind of off our back door. We don't have a back door. The roadside, driver's side of the Airstream. So we were able to set up chairs and actually have a really pleasant evening watching the water last night until the flies started coming out. We're here in mid-September. In fact, that's right. Today's September 11th. And that's one of the reasons I'm wearing the red shirt. I know it wasn't a military operation, but still, we need to remember everyone. involved in that. Again, that's a very nice site, very spacious. Any of these sites, gorgeous, gorgeous views of Lake Superior. Well, there's our site, site 20, seen through the trees, and I'm standing on site 21. And what I'm noticing is that the odd numbered sites allow you to pull in and have your door face Lake Superior. And the even number sites, like this one here, 22, you're just going to back in pretty much on this one. So the back of your trailer is going to be facing the Lake Superior. And working with that theory of the odd number sites being better for the door being pointed to Lake Superior, again, our site number 20, and I'm standing on the site of number 19 right now. And you'd be able, off the access road, be able to back up, and you'd pull that way, and a little snake turn. You could get yourself positioned in here, or backed up about where the picnic table is right here. And I think that would be, again, a really very scenic site, where over here behind us, this is site 18. And again, you can see you'd be able to back in, pull in, and you could back in either way. But your door is going to be more this way. It'd be a little more difficult to get positioned where your door would be facing Lake Superior. Unless you had a really tiny rig, then that would work out for you. The electrical boxes are pretty interesting. Let me flip the camera around and show you. So here's the box. This one is marked number 18, and this one here isn't really marked anything because there's another box right over there that 19 was using, and then we also used that and had to run, our cord plus 2 extensions. So we're only being able to run 20 amp right now because of that. So again, some of these sites plan accordingly for your electric. This wouldn't be so bad actually right here, backing in this way, having the door off there. You could just run the electric underneath, and you could almost run a 50 amp cord or just a single cord right to the box right there. Again, there's another one right here close by. 18, not as level of a site, but still not so bad. You'd be able to pull in fairly easily and out. If you're coming the other way on the road, it'd probably work better to pull forward right along here, and then back your rig in right up into this area here. And again, your door would be facing the road, which is pretty close. You are right off this road right here. But still, you'd be able to set up your chairs and that and have a great view. They also have, probably for ease of mowing as much as anything else, nice little pathways between some of the sites. So if you were here with another couple or two, it'd be easy to access each other's sites. There you can see one of the sites across the road. Michelle and I are going to go exploring over there in just a little bit. We'll see what that's like. The more wooded campsites across the road without the Lake Superior view, though. This is site 9, huge. A fun looking tree right there too. And again, you're right off the road right here. So you'd have to pull up onto the road and then back into your site. So, got to be, I think, sure of what you're doing. Okay, we're going to keep walking down and kind of glance at some of these other sites. Seven is quite large as well. Pretty much like all of these, you've got like a lot of wooded area.
You'd have a pretty good view too, because the sites across the road are sort of like that, so you'd have the center open.
Yeah, between 22 and 21.
Yeah. It'd be open.
A little bit. And even then, if we were on our site in site 20, you'd have a great view of a beautiful Airstream. And this is the day use area right here at Little Girls Point. This is where I drove in and turned around because we were coming in the other way. So I went in there and did a loop around so we could back into our site. So these sites here are kind of uphill. They aren't very level, but definitely a little wooded, secluded. But you're right across that day use area. Pretty nice.
Raspberries,
Oh, look at
blackberries.
blackberries, thistleberries, some kind of berries right there growing wild. The thing about Little Girls Point is they do have sites that you can rent by the day or by the month. So with electric only, no dump station, and a truck with potable water could make it interesting to stay here a month.
You have to leave and go dump and then fill your water back up.
You know, or have some kind of a wagon you carry with you to dump. Yeah, that's a site right there. Yeah, so if somebody came in 25, you'd be kind of blocking the view where the people were there.
But it's walkable access to a really pretty beach.
Oh, let's meander across the road, kind of look over the day use area, and then. All right, I'd say we pack it up and get out of here. On to the next place.
Yep.